Before you scroll any further, pause for just 1 second. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out an ordinary Monticello 5-cent coin, and unknowingly holding a piece of American history that passionate collectors would eagerly examine. Sounds impossible? That's exactly why so many remarkable discoveries go unnoticed. Today, we're following the trail of 4 fascinating Monticello nickels, each carrying its own mystery, hidden details, and collector appeal. But here's the twist. Every coin we reveal leads to an even more intriguing discovery, and the final one may completely change how you look at every nickel you receive in your change. So don't skip ahead, because the most unforgettable reveal is waiting at the very end. After watching this video, you may never spend another Monticello 5-cent coin without taking a closer look first. First up, take a close look at this 1976 Monticello 5-cent coin. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than an ordinary nickel that has spent years passing from one pocket to another. The dark surfaces, scattered black spots, and clear signs of circulation make it easy for most people to dismiss it without a second thought. But that is exactly how countless fascinating collector stories begin. The most interesting coins rarely announce themselves. They hide in plain sight, quietly blending in with everyday change until someone decides to slow down and look a little closer. That's the moment an ordinary coin can suddenly become a conversation piece. This particular 1976 no-mint mark Monticello nickel carries decades of American history. It may have traveled through grocery stores, gas stations, family piggy banks, cash registers, and countless wallets before arriving where it is today. Every scratch, every mark, and every dark spot is evidence of a journey that can never be repeated. For collectors, a coin is more than its face value. It is a small historical artifact that tells a story about the era in which it circulated. While millions of these nickels were produced, collectors know that condition, originality, unusual characteristics, and verified minting varieties are what separate common coins from the pieces that attract serious attention. That is why experienced collectors never judge a coin in only a few seconds. Instead, they examine the date, the mint mark, or the absence of one, the strike quality, the lettering, Monticello's details, Jefferson's portrait, the rim, and the overall preservation. Sometimes, the smallest detail is the one that changes everything. Now look again at this coin. Notice how the black spotting creates a distinctive appearance across the surface. To some people, it simply looks old. To others, it represents decades of natural circulation and storage that make every example visually unique. Although toning or environmental effects alone do not determine value, they often remind collectors that every coin has lived a different story. Imagine how many hands may have held this very nickel over nearly 50 years. Perhaps it rested inside a forgotten coin jar. Perhaps it sat in a family drawer for decades. Perhaps it was tucked away in an old toolbox, a dresser, or a coat pocket, and completely forgotten. Stories like these are one of the reasons coin collecting continues to captivate people around the world. But here's where the mystery deepens. Among ordinary-looking nickels, there are genuine collectible varieties and exceptional condition examples that collectors search for with great excitement. Finding one requires patience, careful inspection, and knowledge, not luck alone. That's why experienced collectors encourage everyone to inspect their pocket change before spending it. Not because every old nickel is rare, but because remarkable discoveries occasionally begin with a coin that most people would never notice. And this is only the beginning. If you think this 1976 Monticello nickel is the most intriguing coin you'll see today, don't leave just yet. The next discovery reveals another chapter in this hidden treasure hunt, and with every coin we uncover, the mystery grows even deeper. By the time we reach the final coin in today's collection, you'll understand why passionate collectors never underestimate an ordinary-looking 5-cent piece. Next up, now the treasure hunt takes an unexpected turn. At first glance, this 1983 Monticello 5-cent coin with its P mint mark doesn't demand attention. Its black and brown spotting, worn surfaces, and almost fine condition might convince most people that it's simply another old nickel that has seen better days. That's exactly why discoveries are so often overlooked. Experienced collectors have learned one important lesson: never judge a coin by its first impression. Every circulation mark, every patch of toning, and every tiny detail tells part of a story that has been unfolding for more than 4 decades. This nickel has likely traveled through countless hands, crossed cash registers, rested inside forgotten jars, and perhaps spent years hidden in a drawer before appearing once again. Imagine if this coin could speak. How many cities has it visited? How many families carried it in their pockets? How many times was it handed over without anyone giving it a second glance? Those questions are part of what makes coin collecting so fascinating. Now focus your attention on the P mint mark beneath the date. For many collectors, the mint mark is one of the first details they examine. Combined with the date, strike quality, preservation, and any verified minting varieties, it helps determine whether a coin deserves closer study. Turn the coin over. The reverse displays Monticello with scattered black and brown dots that give it a distinctive appearance earned through decades of circulation and storage. While color changes alone do not make a coin valuable, they often make each surviving example visually unique and remind collectors that no 2 circulated coins have lived exactly the same journey. This is where curiosity begins to grow. What if another 1983 nickel exists with an unusual feature that most people would overlook? What if the smallest detail separates an ordinary example from one that collectors become excited to research? Those possibilities are why knowledgeable collectors inspect every nickel carefully instead of spending it without a second thought. Remember, genuine collector value comes from factors such as authenticated mint errors, recognized varieties, exceptional preservation, rarity, and strong collector demand, not simply because a coin is old or discolored. And here's the exciting part. We've only reached the second coin. The remaining discoveries become even more intriguing, with details that encourage experienced collectors to slow down, examine every surface, and never assume an ordinary-looking Monticello nickel is just pocket change. Stay with us, because the final coin in today's treasure hunt is the one you'll remember long after this video ends. Next up, now we arrive at a coin that feels as though it has traveled through another era. This 1941 Monticello 5-cent coin without a mint mark is more than 8 decades old, and the moment you hold it, you can't help but wonder where its journey began. The dark, black shade across the surface, the brown dots on the reverse, and its well-worn appearance suggest a lifetime spent moving through American history. To most people, it might look like an old nickel. To a passionate collector, it's the beginning of a fascinating investigation. Think about everything this coin may have witnessed. It existed before the United States entered World War II. It may have passed through the hands of workers, shopkeepers, soldiers' families, and generations of Americans long before today's digital world even existed. Every mark on its surface is a silent reminder that history doesn't only live in museums. It can sometimes survive inside ordinary pocket change. Now pause for a moment. If someone had handed you this nickel in your change, would you have noticed the date? Or would you have spent it without ever realizing you were holding a coin from the early 1940s. That single question is what keeps collectors searching year after year. The absence of a mint mark is another feature that encourages closer inspection. Experienced collectors know that the date, mint mark, strike quality, surface preservation, and any authenticated varieties all work together to determine whether a coin deserves special attention. Turn the coin over and study Monticello carefully. The brown dots scattered across the reverse create a unique appearance that has developed over decades of circulation and storage. While age-related toning or discoloration does not by itself make a coin valuable, it gives every surviving example its own unmistakable personality. No two circulated nickels have lived exactly the same story. Imagine this coin resting unnoticed inside an old family coin jar for decades. Imagine it being tucked away in a forgotten dresser drawer. Imagine it waiting inside a small box in an attic, completely ignored while generations passed by. Those possibilities are part of what makes coin collecting feel like a real treasure hunt. Every old coin invites another question. Who carried it first? Where has it traveled? What stories would it tell if it could speak? That mystery is often more exciting than the coin itself. Collectors understand that remarkable discoveries are built on patience, careful examination, and verified facts. Authentic mint errors, recognized varieties, exceptional preservation, and strong collector demand are the characteristics that can make certain coins especially desirable, not simply their age alone. And now, the suspense reaches another level. We've explored 3 remarkable Monticello nickels, each revealing a different chapter of America's numismatic history. But don't leave yet. The final coin in today's collection is the one that brings this entire treasure hunt together, and it may completely change the way you look at every Monticello 5-cent coin that crosses your path in the future. Next up, we've reached the final chapter of today's treasure hunt. And fittingly, it ends with a Monticello 5-cent coin that has quietly carried its story for more than half a century. This 1973 with D nickel may not command attention at first glance. The brown spotting across its surface, the darker edges on the reverse, and its fine circulated condition give it the appearance of a coin that has faithfully served its purpose for decades. Most people would spend it without a second thought. Collectors don't. When an experienced collector picks up a coin like this, they don't see just 5 cents. They see history waiting to be examined. The first thing they notice is the D mint mark, identifying the coin as having been struck at the Denver Mint. Next comes a careful inspection of the date, the lettering, Jefferson's portrait, the details of Monticello, the rim, the strike quality, and any unusual features that could make the coin worthy of further research. Now imagine this nickel's journey. Perhaps it sat inside a cash register in the 1970s. Perhaps it was dropped into a child's piggy bank, forgotten in an old coffee can, or tucked away in a family collection for years. Every scratch and every worn detail represents a chapter of that journey, a history that no other coin can duplicate. Turn the coin over slowly. The reverse shows Monticello surrounded by natural wear with darker brown color around the edges that reflects decades of circulation and storage. While these color changes alone do not determine collector value, they give the coin character and remind us that every circulated nickel has its own unique life story. Here's the lesson that experienced collectors understand. The greatest discoveries rarely happen because a coin simply looks old. They happen because someone notices something others overlooked. A verified mint error, a recognized die variety, an exceptionally well-preserved example, or another authenticated characteristic that sets one coin apart from millions of others. That's why patient collectors examine every detail before reaching a conclusion. And that brings us to the end of today's journey. We began with an ordinary-looking nickel, then another, until it became clear that every Monticello 5-cent coin has the potential to tell a fascinating story, whether it's about American history, years of circulation, or the thrill of discovering something truly collectible. So before you spend your next nickel, take one extra moment to look at it. Read the date. Check the mint mark. Study the details. You may not uncover a famous rarity every time, but you'll begin to see these small pieces of history the way collectors do. If you enjoyed this treasure hunt, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. More remarkable coin stories, hidden discoveries, and collector mysteries are waiting in our next adventure, and you won't want to miss what we uncover next.